Hey, good morning, everybody. I am back on the home base and loving it. Got all my setup here, got my monitors the way I want them, and I think the microphone's hot. Yeah, we're good to go. So, yes, we are back home and looking out on that Gina camera right now. Check that out. The fog is lifting. It's starting to burn off, and I actually have a better feed on the YouTube. It seems like this one's a little jumpy through the system right now, but if you want to tune in and see these clouds just kind of moving by, you see how it jumped there, and then you get a little burst of that movement. Really interesting to watch the little wave action going by and everything. So I am time lapsing it, and hopefully we'll have something cool later on. Looking close to my home here in Alexandria, fog's gone. Sunny outside, 36 degrees, very chilly. We had a nice frost to start the day, and those winds very light at about 5 miles per hour. So a lot to talk about here. Cold start today, actually looks like a pretty chilly start tomorrow, and that's weird because we have a severe threat coming in, and that's why our severe threat is such a close call here, because that colder air, that drier air is really going to hold on, and it's going to take a lot to get this moisture and instability into our area. I think part of the area sees it and the other part does not. A very busy look to the country right now. We've got snow going on across a large chunk of the Northeast. There's our system out in the Four Corners creating winter storm warnings. Lots of snow down into Arizona and New Mexico and southern Colorado. That's the one that's going to come through here. It's going to put down a lot of snow to the north. It's going to bring a severe threat to the south, and in between a lot of rainfall. So big time storm system that's going to impact a large part of the country. For today, though, it's pretty darn nice. 57 degrees at 1 and 4. We'll see mostly clear skies after you get through that fog, and Futurecast shows that it thinks the fog's pretty much burned off. Yeah, Gina, you're getting there. It should be here in the next hour or so that happens. But look what's coming in. Tomorrow morning, as I said, it's chilly still, but we will have warm air advection. We will have warm air coming in from the southwest, and we'll see that not only at the surface, but aloft as well. That helps to lift things. We start to get some weaker showers, some non-severe stuff by late morning. But look what goes on by 2 p.m. These thunderstorms start to organize. You can see that the southern half of the area is where the strongest storms will be. At this point, I still don't think that warm sector's up here into Rapides Parish, but as we get later to about the 4 to 8 o'clock time frame, that's when it looks like we would have that instability at its furthest north point. So we'll talk about where I think that is here in just a bit. But thunderstorms are likely across the area. Then it moves out. Then another batch of rain moves in. This is why, honestly, I took rain chances up to 30% just from a messaging standpoint for Tuesday. I wanted you to know, yes, there will be rainfall. I actually think it's going to I'm going to have to bring those up higher, but that's before 6 a.m. And this is a cold rain right here. This is not a big thunderstorm sitting overhead. That's moderate rain, probably falling into air in the low 40s, above freezing, no snow, but about as close as we seem to get around here these days. Looking beyond this into Tuesday at 10 a.m., it's all gone. Rain's out of here. So any rain chances you see Tuesday are going to be mainly before you wake up, unless you are a very, very early bird. Future temperatures now. By 10 a.m. into the early afternoon, we get close to 60 today. It's going to stay cool. It's going to stay pretty dry at the surface. And look at this. Tomorrow morning, we're waking up to low to mid 40s. That's not typical for a severe weather day, and that shows you how quickly things are going to change. But even down into Lake Charles at 7 a.m., it's 50 degrees. So what's going to happen? What I think is going to happen, and this is a better way to look at it, is the dew point. We want to see that if we want severe weather, which we don't, we want to see that around 60. So 60 and above, that's kind of your benchmark. So by 11 o'clock tomorrow, 59 degrees is where the dew point is in Lake Charles. This means any storms we see are not going to be surface-based. These are going to be more elevated over the top of a cooler, more stable layer that removes the tornado threat and really only leaves us with a hail threat, and it's going to be isolated. So this is 11 o'clock. Now, moving forward, you can see that dew point line, that 60-degree line, gets up to around Leesville to Alexandria to roughly Faraday line, and then it also kind of nudges a little further toward the northeast by about 8 o'clock, and that's when it starts to get out of the area. This is when the cold front pushes in, and we remove all that instability that we're going to have in the area, at least for part of the area. But I think still south, and I said this yesterday in the Post, south of a Leesville to Alexandria to Natchez, Mississippi line, that's where your best chance for severe storms will be, especially as you get closer to I-10. So in our area, Beauregard, Allen, Evangeline, St. Landry Parish, perhaps southern of Oils, that's where your best chance to see severe weather is going to be. Doesn't mean we're out of the woods off to the north, but we are going to see that chance go a lot lower as you get north of Alexandria. And then the cold front comes through, dew points drop into the 20s, and we get chilly once again. Here is where the Storm Prediction Center has outlined the severe outlook. This is the level 2 risk, level 2 of 5, slight risk. Again, pretty much what I'm saying here. Leesville to Alexandria to Natchez, Mississippi, and south is where your best chance is going to be. To the north, that's where we have a level 1 risk because there is just so much dynamic wind energy and all kinds of craziness going on in this system that it's not going to be hard to get a damaging wind gust down to the surface. And speaking of that, we have a wind advisory. This is for Vernon, Rapides, Avoyelles, Beauregard, Allen, Evangeline, and St. Landry Parish, and of course everyone else in southern Louisiana. But for our area, those parishes are included. Wouldn't be surprised to see this expanded. This is for tomorrow for 20 to 35 mile-an-hour winds with gusts as high as 45, and that's independent of the thunderstorms. So yeah, it's not going to take much to get a severe wind gust out of this, and I think that's going to be our kind of most widespread threat. Could be some power outages, although I don't expect like a widespread crazy, everyone's out of power deal. 1 to 2 inches of rain likely, a little heavier to the southeast. I stopped this one for this first system. We do have another one coming in. Looks like some lesser totals with the rainfall out of that, but perhaps, again, the chance for a few severe storms. And the flash flood risk. This is actually interesting to see that we are in a slight risk for excessive rainfall for most of the area and a moderate risk as you get down into southeast Louisiana where they've seen more rain lately, and it looks like they could see some flash flooding issues. In fact, I believe there is a flash flood watch down to our southeast. So 7-day forecast. Thunderstorms Monday. They are happening, 100%. I upped rain chances to 70% on Friday. I think that system's another virtual lock to come through, but we're not going to go too crazy on that since that's still many days out. Temperatures are going to cool into the 50s, the low 50s for Tuesday. Then we warm up quickly. Then it looks like next weekend, that's when things get cold. And check this out because the thing I like to show here, the 8 to 14 day outlook, really shows that colder air, that below normal temperatures. Those are going to be across most of the country. This is kind of that time of year where we typically see our coldest air, our lowest averages on temperatures over the last 30 years. So to get a very cold air mass in here, this does mean that we are going to see the potential for some freezes. And it looks like there is going to be moisture. There will be a few systems rolling through. Nothing too crazy, not seeing a big signal for snow. I will see transient things show up on ensembles and I'll be like, oh, that looks cool. And then the next run, it's all gone. So I'm looking very, very closely to try to find the snow. But for now, we focus on the severe threat. I am looking to see if I have any questions here. My wife told me to do that. She's so smart. Ball in Pineville, you're right on the line. For how far north this instability gets, I remember one day, this is like 20 years ago, I was going on for the morning show, or 18 years ago or something. And we literally got into the warm sector. I was watching the temperature track at the station, and we went and we warmed up like 15 degrees over about 10 minutes, and then the cold front came through about 10 minutes later. So it was just this quick up and down, and that warm sector just barely snuck in, which that kind of residence time means we won't see a severe threat, but it's just a very, very nuanced thing. How much rain do we get early in the day? If we get a big blob of heavy thunderstorms, that's going to suppress that cooler air. That's going to suppress that warmer air, I should say, and more unstable air to the south. So lots of rain in the morning, lots of cloud cover. That's going to work in our favor to avoid the severe weather up here. I think it's going to get into our southern parishes regardless, so we will be watching things in the morning, and I'll be watching the trends on models through the evening. I don't know if Tom's live later or not. I'm going to be posting a text update. I know people like that in these significant situations, and I like to do it as part of the forecasting process. There are going to be a lot of words, I'm sure, but that'll come after my Sunday nap. I went early on this. I'll go later on that. But I will be here. This is all right in-house now. I'm back home. So excited to say that. And not because I don't like you, Mom. I know you're probably watching. But I like being here with my whole system. I got my whole weather set up. I can go and fix any glitches. And I'm so comfortable with it. I love it. Okay. I will be back with a text update later. If I see anything I need to talk about, I'll always pop on live. It's very easy to do. And I will see you at the very least back here tomorrow. Have a great Sunday, and we'll get through this next little event together.